All right. Welcome back to the Good Spirits Podcast. My name is Leandro Demon Riva. This was probably the only time we're gonna introduce ourselves, but we were told not last week. I keep wanting to say last week, but it was actually 2 weeks ago, on our very first video, by the only commenter, that we didn't introduce ourselves, so nobody knows who we are. I've been on YouTube for like the last 7 or 8 years, and so I just take for granted that people don't know who I am because I'm that famous. But I am a Los Angeles area bartender, cocktail consultant, content creator. I've been basically making my living off YouTube full-time for the last 5 years, and we've had a channel called The Educated Barfly for the last almost 8 years, which is crazy. This show is all about giving advice to those people who didn't ask for it, although maybe one day one of you will write in with your own problems and we'll weigh in on those, and then you will ask for it. But until then, we will be mining Reddit for the most interesting problems and weighing in from a bartender's perspective.
That's perfect.
Sweet. Who are you?
My name is Plex. I was in the industry for a very long time. Used to run bars, general manage, did a lot of actual event stuff. I've known this guy forever, beyond forever. Jeez.
A long time.
A long time.
Long time.
Yeah, and I decided just to sit in and, I don't know, mess up everything he's trying to do.
Cool. All right. So let's get into it. Although you guys haven't seen this, we've done about 7 of these that never got released because we were just working out bugs, audio bugs, video bugs, personality bugs. Today, and in those videos, what I was going to say is, in those videos, I usually give Plex a choice of what advice we're going to give. I mine Reddit through the week to find the most interesting things to talk about. I didn't do that. You don't have a choice. We're just going to get into it.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, here we go. Am I the asshole for not giving my estranged father's wife the money he sent me?
Ooh.
My father wasn't in my 21 life growing up. He left my mom and me when I was 2 and refused to pay child support. He quit his job when he was tracked down for the support, and he spent time in jail rather than pay. A couple of years ago, he moved about an hour away, and I saw him for the first time since a court appearance when I was 8. We didn't speak either of those times, but it surprised me that he came back. I found out he was married and he had more kids from my paternal aunt. He reached out to her and wanted to reconnect, and she told him where to go. She was always pretty disgusted he walked away like he did and refused to support me financially. In December, my aunt told me he went to her house and found something for me there. I asked her what it was, and she had no idea, but she said it was in an envelope. I opened it, and it was a check, and it was a big one, too. I tried giving it to my mom, but she told me to keep it, and he owed me, that he abandoned me, and it was the least I deserved. I tried telling her she deserved it more, but she wouldn't even entertain the idea. So after confirming it was legit, I lodged it into my account. Then his wife came looking for the money by going to my aunt's house for me. My aunt made her leave, and I wasn't even there, but she showed up a few days later when I was there, and she demanded the money. She said it was money that was meant to go to her kids, that he had no right to drain their accounts for me. I told her it wasn't my problem, and my aunt threatened to call the cops. She showed up at my aunt's house again a few days after, and my aunt followed through and called the cops. But apparently this woman left the message that I was selfish and entitled, and I stole it from her kids. Am I the asshole?
I mean, no.
This is kind of a tough one, but
Really?
definitely definitely not an asshole. I don't think that the writer is an asshole. What I'm a little bit tripped out about here is the way that it's written, because she said, I'm assuming he moved back to her hometown after having been gone for most of her life, and that he had more kids by a paternal aunt. But doesn't that mean on the father's side?
I don't think, no. That just means one of the aunt. Well, paternal aunt doesn't really kind of make sense because aunts are supposedly paternal, right? You know what I mean? By your mom or your dad, their sister or brother, right? Uncle or aunts. I mean, especially in Hispanic culture and stuff like that too, auntie and aunts could be just a really close friend of the family. You know what I mean? Like, so saying an aunt isn't necessarily like an actual like family member aunt. So that's what I'm thinking.
Because that just sounded to me like he had kids with his sister.
Yeah, but that's not. No, I think that would make things a lot more complicated.
Because it does say, I found out he was married and had more kids from my paternal aunt.
Right.
which
Her
is
paternal
insane.
aunt told her that he had more kids and was married. You know
Oh,
what
I
mean?
found that out.
From
Well, it's just because she said, like, she didn't say, I found out from my paternal aunt that he was married and had more kids. It says, I found out he was married and had more kids from my paternal aunt.
right.
Just the
It's
way
just the
that
way that it's
it's
worded.
Yeah.
But
you're
also,
right,
she didn't even need to say paternal, really.
So basically, his sister ratted him out that he's back in town.
right. Or yeah, exactly.
Right. To his kid.
But
Which,
she probably should have said just aunt and didn't put the paternal in there because that's what kind of makes it weird.
yeah, I mean, obviously, this guy feels guilty. So he does feel something. Which
Yeah.
is crazy that you would, like, dodge your child support for that long and go to jail rather than pay.
What?
She said he went to jail. She said right here.
Bro.
He quit his job and he was tracked down for support and he spent time in jail rather than pay.
Are you kidding me?
The mom. But then now, as he got older, he felt guilty and
Dude, there are
strained his
so
accounts.
many people dodging child support. So many that literally, because, and again, I'm not one of them, but there is a certain group of men that actually will dodge child support because they literally genuinely feel that they're being robbed when it's not really their fault. Hey, it's
Right,
not my
right.
problem. So going to jail just makes it even worse in their head. You know what I mean? Like, she put me in jail
Right.
for nothing. But the truth of the matter is that if you're not paying child support, then you're not the type of guy that is going to, like, rationally, for the most part. I mean, kudos to him that he figured it out and got
Right.
guilt. You know what I mean? But I will say it is slightly messed up that the father did not tell his current wife that he was going to drop all that money on his, kid
I mean,
that he
100%,
neglected.
especially
You know what I
if
mean?
he,
Like,
like,
that's
drained the account.
Yeah.
That's really got to be very jarring for his
But
wife,
But I mean, that part I would say kind
His
of
kid
sucks.
deserves it, though.
Yeah,
And not only
1,000%.
He owes, like, back child support.
I'm actually
anyway,
surprised
so-
he did it because the thing is that if he went to jail for it, in a lot of guys' eyes, well, I paid. You know what I mean? Like, I paid my dues, so
Right.
I'm not gonna. So the fact that he did that is pretty amazing.
What I get the current wife being pissed about him just draining the accounts without telling
Yeah.
her, but at the same time, she probably knows the situation, and how could you not just be like, well, he does owe it to his kid, like, he does owe it, like,
Because
she has no recourse legally at all, because if they're married, then their money's common property. So if he can drain the account. If he has access to the account, he can drain it.
she could actually go after him for that though. It's a little
I don't
iffy
think
though.
you can. I don't think you can.
Depends on
I
how
don't know.
old. But the thing is that, like, I know for a fact that child support, depending on what state this is in,
Mm-hmm.
child support to a certain degree, you only have a certain number of years. If the kid's over 18 to 21, like, you're going to get a certain amount of years in back child support.
Right.
But you're not absolutely going to get all of it, and definitely not all you're deserved.
I don't think that legally spouses can steal from each other because
But technically,
their property is
right,
commonly
legally you can't steal, but you are still. I don't know if that matters in divorce court or not. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because you still have an obligation. Everything isn't yours. You know what I mean? If you take my car and then wreck it,
owned. Right.
yeah, I don't know how that
I mean,
works.
I don't know what I have as far as, like, advice goes for this one. It's pretty cut and dry. You're not the asshole at all. Take the money and keep it. Your dad owes it to you.
Yeah,
The way he did it sucks, but you know what? That's not your problem. It's not your problem at all.
yeah.
It's not your problem.
Have another drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just,
I
like, take that money,
Absolutely.
do something awesome with it, start a business. I don't know how much it was, but it was big enough that you
that
mentioned
she
it was
came.
big.
The
Well,
wife came
right.
after her. You know.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cut and dry. I
So are
think.
you telling me all the ones that we recorded, all the 7 ones that we recorded, where we had this huge argument, well, the one that we're actually recording, we immediately agree?
Yeah.
This is how that works?
Yeah,
Okay.
but then we're gonna just record another one,
Yeah.
and maybe we won't agree. I don't know. Yeah, this was a really easy one. I thought it was really. When I happened upon it, I thought it was very interesting.
It is, but it's super
it
cut
is,
and dry.
and not only that, but there is a little bit of a dilemma in there. Like, if I were in the OP's shoes,
Mm-hmm.
I think that I might have a little bit of a dilemma because I do feel for the guy's current wife, especially if he's such a scumbag. It seems like he's doing right by her, though, and you will make the money back eventually. But at the same time, I can see why. I mean, if somebody drained my account and I didn't know it, I'd be pissed. No matter what reason. I mean, even if it was very justified.
But also, he didn't just drain their account. He drained their account with kids that she has with him.
By him, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So in that respect, it's not even, like you just took food away from my kids in a way.
100%.
I'm assuming that he didn't drain it to zero. I'm assuming that he's a little bit more established now.
I don't know because this guy seems so crazy, but like I would assume that you wouldn't just completely tank your own life because you felt so guilty, and that like obviously he can make back the money.
Yeah, maybe the wife is being a little bit melodramatic about it. You know what I mean? Maybe
I don't know.
she just.
This seems like current events, dude. Things are expensive. Have you seen the price of eggs? It's like $14.99 for 12 eggs, dude.
No, don't get me wrong. Crazy. I understand. No, you're absolutely right. But at the same time, I do think that it's nice. It's a nice gesture. He just should have talked about it with his wife. He probably didn't because he probably knew the answer was going to be like, oh, hell no.
I mean, is it very surprising this guy didn't talk to his wife about it first?
I'm just really surprised he actually cut a check. There's no way he's going to cut a check unless he absolutely had extra money. Just, maybe he had his tax return or something. Right. But yeah, I mean, he went to jail over not paying. So it must have been a huge windfall or something to make him actually pay. Curious.
Weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. Yeah. All right. Well,
that was
not the asshole. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
All right. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. We're just doing one story per episode to keep things a little bit short. We want to kind of keep things at the 20-minute mark. If you guys have any problems and you guys want us to weigh in with our expert bartending opinions, please do. If you guys have any bottle recommendations, write them in the comments below. We will be drinking something on some episodes. And you know what? We'll probably talk through some bottles in the future as well. And if you guys have any ideas or anything that you want to see, let us know as well. That's what the comments are for. And we will see you guys next time.